What's good, boxing fans? It's your boy, Pool Counter Boxing, coming at you with another boxing video for the boxing heads and the boxing mind. Errol Spence Jr. and Manny Pacquiao will be fighting August 21st. But after this fight, it's on and popping. If Errol Spence Jr. get past Manny Pacquiao, the legend, the 8th division champion, if he gets past Manny Pacquiao, and most boxing heads believe he will, because he is the younger, stronger, stronger, bigger fighter in his prime. We believe that Errol Spence will retire Manny Pacquiao. Now, if that don't happen, then Houston, we got a problem, or we got a problem in Dallas, Texas, because that means that Manny Pacquiao will be the unified champion at 147. So that means that it would change the whole dynamic of the 147 division. Now, if Errol Spence Jr. gets past Manny Pacquiao, hey man, he's got to go straight for Terrence Crawford, because Terrence Crawford ain't no joke, and Terrence Crawford has been waiting on the smoke, so he says. So these are the two best at the 147 division. Save Boots Ennis, Jerron Boots Ennis. Save him, because Jerron Boots Ennis is on a whole nother level by himself. So, but we have the two premier welterweights, and that's Errol Spence Jr. and that is Terrence Crawford, Terrence Bud Crawford. And both of the skill sets are awesome. Terrence Bud Crawford has the versatility. He has the ability to switch from orthodox to southpaw very smoothly, no seams, and he has hand speed, he has foot speed, and he has boxing IQ. Now, Errol Spence Jr., he has the strength, he has the size, he has the boxing IQ, and he has a methodical, controlled aggression. He has a jab, he has hooks. Basically, he is versatile, but we don't know if Errol Spence Jr. is as versatile as Bud Crawford. Now, can Bud Crawford handle Errol Spence's jab? Can he handle Errol Spence's strength? Can he fight on the inside with Errol? Can he take Errol Spence Jr. punches? Because we've seen Bud Crawford go down in the Gamboa fight. We see him go down with a Mean Machine, and even though these things don't really mean anything, you know what I'm saying, because it's, different fighters, and they have different techniques, they have different styles, so different styles make fights, and we all know this. But we are looking for patterns, and we are looking for things that we see over and over again. So we know Bud has nice foot movement, and he has nice footwork to get out of danger, to stay out of range. But Errol Spence Jr. has the ability to cut off the ring. So can Errol Spence Jr. impose his style on Terrence Crawford, and can Terrence Crawford impose his abilities and style on Errol Spence Jr.? Now, on paper, it looks like Crawford has the edge. See, I'm objective, you know what I'm saying? Even though Errol Spence Jr. is my man. But I look at what I see, and it appears that Terrence Bud Crawford is the better boxer, and maybe the better puncher. But Errol Spence Jr. seems to be the more disciplined. He's the more technically sound boxer, as I see it, because Errol stays behind his jab. He does everything right. Crawford has the creativity. He takes the chances in the fight to catch you, using his athletic ability. But the one thing that I see in Crawford's his whole journey through boxing is that he never faced another fighter who was as athletic as he is, and that makes a difference, folks. That makes a difference. You seen when Errol Spence Jr. came up against another highly athletic fighter in Shawn Porter. See, it's not about, being sorry or Errol Spence Jr. is a hype job. It's that Shawn Porter is probably one of the best athletes, quicker feet, feints, this kind of thing. He is very dangerous because he is athletically gifted. And Crawford is athletically gifted. That's why the Shawn Porter and Terrence Crawford fight is going to be so interesting to see Terrence Crawford come up against another athletically gifted fighter. Somebody who can get out the way of his punches, somebody who can move like Shawn Porter, bob and weave, and somebody who's just as fast, to move to get their punches off and to connect and test out Terrence Crawford's stamina. So when you see Errol Spence Jr., he fights in many different styles. So not only can Terrence Crawford change the look, but Errol Spence Jr. can change the look. And even though his adjustments are slight, he does what it takes to win the fight. And, in his past, Errol Spence Jr. hasn't been as motivated and dedicated to boxing. He went through that car crash, and, he went through that moment where he wasn't really focused on boxing. But now, since the car crash, it seems that Errol Spence Jr. has refocused himself and gotten himself back into the condition that he was when he stopped Bandu and Algieri and these kind of fights where he was knocking people out. So it is, in my personal opinion, in my personal belief, that Errol Spence Jr. is back on the top of his game, and you can see the welterweight reaction to Errol Spence Jr. coming back, getting back in rare form. And even though there's narratives out there that's trying to doubt if Errol Spence Jr. is getting back to his old self 100%. They said that he was 80% against Danny Garcia. And people criticized that performance, saying that, Danny gave him a good fight. But hell, Errol Spence Jr. dominated almost 12 and complete entire rounds. Now, Terence Crawford has knocked out the last 6 opponents that he's had. The only knock against Terence Crawford is, the point in which he fought certain fighters in their careers, and he hasn't fought any of the top welterweights. He hasn't fought the Danny Garcias. He hasn't fought the Shawn Porters. He hasn't fought the Keith Thurmans. So, it's not a personal hit, but it's just what you expect of a special fighter. When you see somebody with special skills, like a Floyd Mayweather, like a Sugar Ray Leonard, you don't want to see them against off-brand welterweights or off-brand competition. You want to see them against the Marvin Haglers. You want to see them against the Tommy Hearns. And when they don't fight those opponents, that's when they get criticized, no matter who you are. If Errol Spence Jr. had fought Jose Benavidez, if he had fought Mean Machine, Errol Spence Jr. would be getting the same criticism. But because, boxing fans, they fall in love with certain fighters, they want to push the narrative that, this is not the case. But it is the case. Everybody get criticized if you're the champion and you don't fight the best. So, they can keep saying what they want to say, but we know what it is. We're pure boxing hardcore fans. So it's not about the fighter, it's about the boxing. You know what I mean? And it's about who you fight, and it's about the status, and it's about the level of competition that you fight, and that's where you get your credit. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell you, but, you know what I mean? Bud Crawford, I think he's a great fighter, and I think he had 3 years to get some good competition. Amir Khan ain't it, man. You know, KL Brook ain't it. You know, you got to fight the people who's there at the top. Now, if Terrence Crawford would have went and knocked out Jerron Bruce Ennis, man, that would have been crazy. That would have been on a whole nother level, bro. That would have told us everything we need to know. But these two fighters are going to meet. I have a feeling after this Manny Pacquiao fight is going to be on and popping. So let's look out for October 21st. Let's look out for Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter. See who comes out on top on that one. I believe Bud Crawford will beat Sean Porter, and I do believe we will get the super fight of the decade between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. If you like my content, please smash that like button, and please subscribe to my channel, and I appreciate it. And but that's all I got. This has been Pool Kind of Boxing. You know what I'm saying? Remember what I always say: law don't go around here, law dog. Just savvy. And I'll see you guys in the next one.